Good morning and welcome to this little yoga flow. I won't be going crazy in depth with the talking, so a lot of silence. It's just kind of a short little full body stretching flow. So first I kind of started off with a small meditation, early shavasana, as I kind of stretched through both hamstrings with opposite hand to opposite foot, grabbing my big toe. And kind of just relaxing through the lower spine and the hamstrings before we kind of get started. This flow I kind of just completed in the morning. As you can see, the sun already rose, but a nice peaceful, positive way to start the day. Open through the energy of the body, open through any stiffness and soreness of activity you had the other day or the day before. For me, it's a lot of weightlifting, working on clients on my feet all day, so it feels good to stretch through my Achilles and my calf, especially with the flexion of my foot. Moving into pike position, reaching for my toes. I was kind of folding more out of my back rather than my hips with this, but you can choose the positioning and decide where you need it. I also do head rotations, just so it can reach my upper lumbar spinal area, where I tend to get pretty stiff and hold a lot of knots. Then taking it to downward dog, reaching up with my right leg, opening through the hips, opening through the back, doing a few hip circles, getting out any stiffness, any soreness, both ways, forward and back, and coming through to a low lunge. Now dropping the knee to make it a little bit more sustainable to hold while I'm really getting into my psoas and my hip flexors. Then opening through my hip to get further into the right side of my hip. Coming down is a little bit more challenging. Stay on your hands if you do not feel comfortable coming on your elbows. Now to take this stretch further, if you are a little bit more advanced, reach around. It could be a little tight, but that quad stretch is super good release. There's many ways to stretch through the quad, but this has to be one of my absolute favorite ways, especially if you are highly flexible. Now taking the lunge back, really executing through the hamstrings. Now, especially for this one, you do see a round in my back, but go ahead and fold out of the hips and come down if you are a little bit more advanced to get that further stretch. Now coming out of that, opening through a side lunge for my inner hip rotation, and just stretching through that inner thigh as it feels tight and stiff, and kind of also flexing my foot. Opening this flexation allows my IT band and all of my further inner thigh to feel it a lot deeper, as well as the side of my back. Coming down if you want to experience a further stretching sensation through the back of the hamstring and inner thigh. And just sit here, release. Come in and out of it, feel it out, and downward dog on the next side as we will repeat this sequence. You may notice as you watch me, I might not spend exactly the same amount of time on each side. My body varies and differs. I always tend to get knots on the left side of my body compared to the right. So personally, I just sit in it for however long I need to sit, and then I come out when my body tells me to. If this were a particular yin yoga, I would be sitting in each position for around 2 minutes, but that is further to come on my channel. And again, just getting right through that hamstring, which will prepare us for our next pose, which is a full entire hip opener. So this is going to be frog pose with the way that my feet are turned out, just like almost like frog legs. What's not making this child pose is my feet not being together. So if my feet were together, this would be child's pose. But my feet being apart is making this a little bit further and deeper of an opening actually through my inner thighs, which for me is one of my most challenging poses and most highly uncomfortable poses, but definitely rewarding and easing to get stress and tension that gets built up in the hips. Now flowing it back out, we'll take a little upwards dog. And then we will come through as we prepare for our pigeon pose on each side. So I personally am starting with the right, stretching that leg up, finding that flexion, as then I find my comfort in my pigeon pose. And again, I further choose to feel through my quads, so this is actually my ideal favorite way of stretching through my quad, but reaching back for my quad is definitely the biggest stretch that I feel. So sit here, feel these deep poses out. You don't have to bring your foot as close as me. You meet your body where you're at and you accept. Yoga is not an ego-based practice. It's just about honoring the body, honoring the mind-to-body connection, and meeting yourself where you are at, and really just loving yourself for that. Opening through the hips a little bit as we will come in to my favorite 90-90 stretch. So taking that ankle, stacking it over the knee as we push down the knee on top of our foot, if that's enough, or you can fold forward as you see me doing here to get a deeper hip stretch on both sides. But guys, this pose is highly intensive, will definitely release lots of tension out of your body, so be prepared and be warned. Don't go too far. Again, accept your body where it is at and meet it where it is at, and relax. One of the last little stretches I want to take is a small bind. So putting the hands on the right side of the hips as we stretch our head towards our hands and get a great side body stretch. Amazing for kind of releasing tension. Honestly, I don't get very tight through my upper body, so upper body doesn't do much for me, but it does feel good, especially in my traps, in my neck in particular. Now following with a small bind the other way, keeping arms together and looking up, stretching through the middle of that back. And again, I don't hold as long, so feel free to pause if you have a tighter upper back. But I said, typically I don't feel too tight, so I'll do a lot of side bending sensations for my low back because that is where I personally feel my tightness a lot. Just opening all this energy in the morning is beautiful, releasing all that tension, which will now set us up for Shavasana, the best pose in yoga. Just be here and relax. Position your hands and legs wherever you want. We will have a few minutes of silence, so feel free to click off now if you are done with your practice. Good job completing this flow of very simple and basic flow, but if you join me with Shavasana, we are about to begin. Now Shavasana is wrapping up, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. Please give me support to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next flow. Namaste.